Hello, it's Shorty, and I'm here with the complete book of the Zodiac again to read for any of you that have the moon in Pisces. So let's see what we have for you. Do you yearn for a life on the ocean waves? If so, you are manifesting a typical tendency of people born under the moon in Pisces. So deep are your needs, so profound are your yearnings, so passionate are your impulses that no relationship, no matter how intense and how committed with any other human being, will suffice to fulfill them. You need a relationship with something vaster, more unfathomable, and more mysterious. The sea, for example. Your heart constantly wants to sail, swim, surf, and dive. If it can't feel safe or able to do that, it prefers to sit patiently doing nothing other than splash pathetically through some shallow puddle. This is why so many of your loved ones consider you an enigma. You often reveal little or no trace of emotion. Yet it is clear that you are far from being in your lifestyle or your family life. There's something about you that seems a bit out of water. It may not be the actual ocean that you require in order to find complete satisfaction. It could be a stimulating, demanding role to play in some large organization or institution that fills the gap you sense in your heart. But it's certainly true that Pisceans are not emotionally content unless they're in the process of trying to do the impossible in an environment where anything can happen next and probably will. If you read the descriptions of some other moon signs, you will see the most follow a pattern. I begin by describing the assets having the moon in a certain sign, go on to discuss the drawbacks, and end with an appraisal of how these may cause problems in a person's love life. I cannot, however, apply such a formula when writing about you. There is, as far as I am aware, no romantic disadvantage to have been born with the moon in Pisces, nor is there some particular attitude to life that can make family relationships stressful. To have the moon in Pisces is to be everyone's friend, no one's enemy, and some very lucky person's ideal partner. Well, almost. I'm not trying to say you're perfect, but you're certainly harmless without being insipid, sympathetic without being sentimental, wise without being arrogant, and good-humored without being giddy. Your faults, if it is proper to call them such, are all connected with being too good to be true. You can make even the most unself-critical companion feel unworthy of your love. You can be unreasonably reasonable, so fair that it's unfair, and so unresentfully self-sacrificing as to make others resent you. Many people are simply not psychologically geared up to the challenge of coexisting with someone as nice as you are. When they try to probe you for weakness or to goad you into a heated emotional reaction, you don't even give them the satisfaction of being patronized by the refusal to respond. You bravely go through the motions of anger, jealousy, or angst, in the sincere hope that this will help. None of this is to say that you're devoid of emotion, far from it. You're tremendously deep and prone to profound inner feelings that sweep like tidal waves across your heart. It's just that even with these feelings, even when these feelings have more to do with the despair than joy, you don't allow them to cause problems to others in your world. You're one of the extraordinary, moon in Pisces kind. Some people lust for power, others crave money, love, or sensual fulfillment. You may not be entirely immune to such desires, but they hardly dominate your life. If they did, one way or another, you'd have more of them, for you're not the kind of person to deny yourself of what you crave. What you crave, however, is something that the modern world seems to have in short supply: meaning. Your life must have a point and a purpose. Though the conventional goals and aspirations that others strive for seem somehow petty to you, there is a sense of sublime transcendence before you're interested. Painting, poetry, music, or other creative activities fulfill this need in some lunar Pisceans. Others find it through their devotion to spiritual or a charitable cause. But if if this is beginning to sound like the light side of your moon, hold on. There's a hunger in your soul for a strong, powerful experience. You simply cannot bear the commonplace, so you throw yourself into whatever you feel is most likely to provide you with an escape from the hatch of the ordinary world. You can all too easily become obsessive about your art, fanatical about your faith, or worse still, convinced that even these are not sufficient to take you as far as you want to go. In the absence of a psychological anchor, you can become dangerously cavalier about your well-being, taking risks for the sheer thrill of seeing how close to the edge you can go. As a child, you are inquisitive. As a teenager, argumentative. And now, as an adult, you have to learn to construct a lifestyle that satisfies rather than merely destroys the available opinions. Okay, so if you have a moon in Pisces and a sun in Aries, others can't help but respect you for your wisdom and integrity, even if they find you a little too outspoken or pushy at times. Sun in Taurus. Though you try not to let the poetic side of your nature run away with you, you're more sentimental and more sensitive than you care to admit. Sun in Gemini. You're never one to let a prior engagement stand in the way of a good spur-of-the-moment idea. Hopefully, your friends are as flexible. Sun in Cancer. Most of the time, you're at ease with yourself and with life in general. Somehow, your intuition always leads you to the right place. Sun in Leo. It's a good thing you can put up with such a commanding friend. If people knew how much fun you really were, they'd never take you seriously. Sun in Virgo. Tension in early childhood may have left you too ready to believe that dreams don't come true, yet yours frequently do, despite this. Sun in Libra. You have a profound sense of duty. You work hard to keep the wilder impulses under control and at least give an impression of being sensible. Sun in Scorpio. You're a light, easygoing character most of the time. Your sense of humor is never far from the surface, no matter what's going on. Sun in Sagittarius. Though Sagittarians love to travel, something in you also loves to come home. Ideally, you'd have a home that was capable of traveling. Sun in Capricorn. You'd make a great teacher, largely because you're such an enthusiastic student of life and all it has to offer. You have a permanent hunger for the facts. Sun in Aquarius. The combination of a sensitive heart and a logical mind makes you an unbeatable force. Your bank manager will testify, one day anyway. And finally, Sun in Pisces. You're impossible. A law unto yourself, a living example of why there's an exception to every rule, and a very wonderful person. Okay, so all of you Moon in Pisces, I hope that you found this helpful, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my channel, and of course I want you all to know that I love you.